Some may argue that this is absolutely pointless, but remember the exhaust from episode 1? It was absolutely filthy and it was covered in tar, it was covered in little specks of rust around the brackets and stuff like that. Well, I cleaned it all down and I gave it a quick lick of silver. I mean, you're not even going to see this thing, but once the bumper's on, but still I think, you know, look, why not? Because you know, I'm going to be redoing the under seal again and it's just nice to look at. So I just think the detail that you can go to sometimes and can just really set it off. And I just think, look, as it was off and while it was that scabby looking, why not why not freshen it up? Wheels just back from the sandblaster. Just want to show you them if you can see. So if you see just even the lip or any part of it there, you can see kind of metallic-y or almost speckles in it. That's slight indentations in the aluminium where the sand penetrated the wheel to knock all the paint and stuff off it. So what I need to do to these now is apply a high build primer, which, you know, a 2-pack primer, so there's a nice depth and a nice build in it, and that'll give me a nice smooth surface then to be able to apply the paint and then apply the lacquer. The lacquer is going to be slightly harder to get right on these ones because of all the 16 individual spokes, and trying to lay the lacquer evenly on them is going to be difficult, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So yeah, good to see them. Good to see them back to bare metal, and going to definitely turn out much nicer than they would have done had I gone at it the other way. 2-pack primer is on the wheel now, so let's have a look. I'm trying to get the camera to focus. Now you can see, actually the camera's kind of picking up a bit of what looks like dust sitting on it, but it's actually some silver that is blown through from the inside because I just painted the inside. But the finish on it is smooth enough anyway to paint on. So we're happy with that. Here's the inside. And you can see silver's on it. I'm kind of in the way of the light and stuff there, but yeah, it's perfect. So we're on the process now of making sure that the colour is evenly put on it, and once the colour is evenly put on it and each spoke is covered, I can lacquer it then. But it's the hard part on this one is just making sure you get into all the spokes, so it'll be super cautious and slow with these ones to make sure they're right, because you only get one chance. Now the wheels are painted and lacquered, and you can see I just brought it out into the sunshine so you'd get a good kind of view of the shine off it and how bright it is. Now getting these sandblasted was the correct thing to do because it speeded it up. However, getting the smooth finish on it because of the individual spokes was so difficult. The pitting from the sandblasting, normally you fill it up with 2-pack primer, sand it down, and that's and that's good, and that is the correct way to do it. The only problem is when you've got 16 individual spokes and you can see the angle of them, it's very hard to get the gun in there, and it's very hard to get a nice finish on both sides of the spokes. And once the primer dries, then you've got to flatten it down on each spoke, and then obviously on the dish as well and on the face. So it took a long time. I definitely would say there's a lot of hours have gone into getting those to where they are now, and yeah, they were definitely a tougher set of wheels to refurbish for sure. New windscreen and new seal just fitted there now, and it's just put some solution on it there now just to dissolve the stickers and stuff like that. But in new seal, and it's actually amazing to watch it being done in comparison to seeing how it would have been done years ago. The procedure is the same, but I suppose the stuff they're using now has come on so much. I don't know if you can see this sealer stuff inside there. It's a polyurethane sealer, and before, when you were getting a windscreen fitted years ago, it would have been you had to leave it overnight to set, and then it was down to maybe 6 or 8 hours. You can see it there as well, and it's a real you can actually shape it to whatever way you want. But this particular stuff now goes off in only 20 minutes, so within 20 minutes it's sealed. That's it, job done. So it's yeah, it's good. But yeah, nice glass, and all in and around there where all the rust was is now all gone, and hopefully never to be seen again. Wheels with their tires back on, just got them back from the boys in the tire centre, so they're on and ready to fit. So won't be long now before she's down and off the axle stands. Now just putting on the wheels, and look what just came in the post, the new centre caps. So let's put that on there now. Much better than the scabby ones that are on it. I must paint those wheel studs now next. Here we have an inner tie rod and a outer track rod end. Now I've been going through the steering and wishbone and all the bushings and stuff in the front just to see how everything is, just as I'm putting in the coilovers. And to be honest with you, everything is very, very, very good. However, I am going to change the tie rod and track rod end, even though they don't need changing. And the reason I'm doing that is, have you ever taken your car to get it tracked and the person that's tracking the car has failed to be able to track it? Because as you can see, the inner tie rod on the left hand side that's separated from the outer track rod end, sometimes what happens is when you open this nut here to adjust your tracking, that's done on the threads there, so you know it turns, and you look on your laser or look on your screen or whatever, and it gives you the thing. But sometimes the threads you know, have a small bit of rust on them, and they end up seizing. So BMWs are renowned for it, and with that in mind, why not put new ones in, because they're not expensive, and at least when I know that I get this car tracked, that I'm not going to have that problem, and I'm sure the tire centre will be delighted. Okay, so how to set up a inner tie rod and track rod, and you can't just put them in willy-nilly, bearing in mind if you did that, one wheel could be, you know, going one way and the other going the other way, and you just wouldn't be able to drive the car, and a set of tires would wear in absolutely no time. So what we've got to do here is, for the time being, until such time as I get the car tracked, I've got to create exactly the same length from end to end as what's here in front of me. So how that is done basically is, where it butts in up against the rack here to the center point of the outer tie rod have to be identical. So we'll use the old one as a pattern, measure it up, put it in, and at least I'll know I'm close then, and any fine tuning can be done then when we get it tracked. So on we go. It's down off the stands. Just got the wheels on it and got the front suspension changed over, and it's down, and it's looking pretty low, and it's looking pretty. So it's definitely, it's really different in comparison to what I thought that it would look. We were actually standing outside a while ago looking in, and you can really see the dish on the back wheels. Very, very noticeable from you know, when you're standing in front of it. Still got the bonnet to do. The bonnet is actually still on the black 328. I've got to mop that, polish it up, and fit that tomorrow. We've got the roof to change over. Like I said before, that's not actually a bad job. So we've got that to do, and just a bit of a clean, and that's it. We're going to get ready to drive it. I actually need to do a service in it as well, because we just fired it up there a second ago, and it just reminded me I needed to do the oil and filter in it. And yeah, it's awesome. So have a look around it there, and you'll see the way it's sitting pretty nice on each arch now, I must admit. I'm really happy with that height. So we're going to drive it, see how it sits after a drive, and go from there. Come back in, have a look from this angle as well. Look at the back of it. I really like the back of it. You see how chunky it is. The exhaust tips that are on it there as well. There's black exhaust tips there. There's standard ones that were on it. We just cleaned those and give them a lick of paint, and it came up pretty nice. Down the side here, just really nice. So if you come over here, Kate, I'm going to shoot down the side, pan down the side of it there, and you'll see. Yeah, down. Really nice lines. Really happy with that height now. It's just so weird being next to it for a long period of time. And when it came down off the jacks, it was like, oh shit, that's really low. But we'll see what it drives like, and we can always wind it up afterwards anyway if it's too low. But I just really like that stance. I think it's nice. So that's it for tonight. Well, that's not it for the video, but that's it for tonight. And we're going to be back at it now in the morning. And like I say, get the roof done, get the bonnet on, get the mirrors on, get it cleaned, change the oil, and go for a drive. Time to change the roof. Okay, so just to show you, we have the roof taken off the black one and had it outside, gave it a wash. Now this car was laid up for a bit when it was in the UK, and it was laid up for another bit when it got here, so there's a lot of green around the stitching and stuff like that. Now I am dyeing the roof anyway, but it's very, very important. You don't want to be putting dye down on top of dirt or green mold and stuff. So took it out, gave it a wash, very, very carefully though. You got to be careful not to put a power washer on the get too close to the threads on it, because the threads are, well, especially in that one, that's the oldest one that's here now. That thing is 95, so the car's 25, nearly 26 years old. Okay, so to take the roof off, first job is get your headrests out. That's not really the first job. I suppose the first job is take the door card off. Get your door card off, get your headrests off. The door card is very, very tricky to do in these. You could end up doing damage to clips, so you've got to take your time doing it. Pop the headrests off, and in here then on either side you'll see that there is a 13 there, there is another 13 down there, and we have got a Allen key, 6mm Allen key here, and we've got a ball of spacers as well. So remember I was telling you about shims before in another video, or maybe it's this video, I can't remember at this point, but yeah, various different amounts of shims, so it looks like quite a lot on that side. So let's have a look and see how many are on the other side. I find this hilarious. I haven't the door card taken off there yet. I find it hilarious that, like, you know, there's just obviously on the assembly line boxes of these shims that are going, that's not really fitting properly, and then just fucking sliding them in to make it fit properly. It's bizarre. So cool, that roof's coming off, and it's going to go back on the black one, because around the back window on it, the stitching is gone, and the roof itself is absolutely fine, but it just needs restitching in around the window. And some person in their infinite wisdom decided that instead of getting it restitched, they'd slap a load of glue on the soft top part on the outside, and it just looks horrendous. So that's a job for another day, should I go restoring the black one. Okay, so yeah, off with the door card on the other side, get these open and get it lifted off. Okay, we've the new roof on, well, the other roof, and it's not bad. It cleaned up pretty okay, but I'm still going to dye it anyway. So I want to show you a bit of it if I can. That's kind of difficult with a gun in one hand and the phone in the other. So we have the spray gun. Okay, I'm using Concept Fabric Black. I've done the other side. I've put the first coat on the other side of the, so I'm just about to put a coat on this side. Just want to show you the application of it. So literally just spray it on. Doesn't matter about how heavy you go on this, because it's just going to soak in anyway. Okay, so a few coats of that now, and it'll go completely black. I don't know if the camera, you see the flashes on the camera as well, so it's not picking it up too well, but you can see the discoloration there after I've washed it, so that will be all jet black when it's finished. So right, I'm gonna go back to using two hands again. That's the finished product now with the roof dyed. It's the following day after I've sprayed it, and just a few bits and pieces on it there. But that's it, nice and black, nice and even, and it is looking pretty fresh now. And look, you know, that stuff I put on is water based. It doesn't last forever, but it most certainly is easy to apply. You don't need a spray gun to put it on. I just put it on with a spray gun yesterday because it was just quicker for me. You can actually apply it with a spray bottle as well, and it does the job. Now I absolutely horsed a load of it on there yesterday because there's very little build on it, but yeah, it's definitely looking nice and even today anyway, so very happy with that. Next job is the leather. So the leather on this is exceptionally good, and the reason why it's exceptionally good is it's had some work done to it. So the last owner has, I've noticed the bolster has been stitched there, and they've actually gone away and bought the actual proper leather paint. Okay, so the leather dye, and it's exactly the right color for the car. As you can see, it's called BMW Montana Light Grey. So they've gone ahead and done that. They put on a couple of coats, but it could have done with a couple more. So that's what I'm doing now at the moment. I'm putting in on some more of it. I've given it a good clean and a good hoover inside, got all the dirt off the seats. And the front ones were quite good, but I'm not entirely sure if the camera will pick this up. But I don't think they actually did the back ones and just cleaned them. So you'll see kind of maybe discoloration, and you'll see a bit of dirt and things in the grains of the leather there. That I've scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed, and that is literally as clean as I can get it. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to apply a couple of coats of this leather dye, and that will give it a completely new, fresh look. This I've also put in the center armrest. There was no armrest in this car when I got it, and it was really annoying. Because when you're so used to driving any of these, because all the rest of them that I have all have center armrests, and this was the only one that didn't. So I took that center armrest out of a 318 IS that I scrapped, and it had a black armrest, and I dyed it with the leather dye, and I dyed it the color of the car, which is nice. So we're going to crack on now with the back, and I'll show you when it's done. The finished article, and I must say, so that is absolutely fantastic. That Madeira violet is a really nice color, and I just think with the bits and pieces that I've done to it, I really like the look of that now. All the glasses, you know, as you've seen, is all new in the front of it. Windscreen is brand new. Everything is just, you know, just on point. Bodywork, super happy with that. And I'm just going to show you how the inside turned out. I ended up putting 2 coats of the dye on the inside and on the door handles and the door cards, and it looks absolutely brand new. So it's amazing to think this car is nearly 25 years old. Really happy with that. Just gonna stand back here, use a side profile on it. As you can see, good shine all the way down the sides. Awesome. All right guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for next week's video, which is the last week of lockdown here in Lockdown Motors. And what's featuring next week's video? The red one is finally going to get finished, so stay tuned for that one next week. Thanks for watching everyone, and talk to you all very soon.